The movie starts with a group of Interpol agents in South Africa, led by a woman named Lynn. They are transporting a prisoner and a key witness named Keith Zera. The convoy of 3 cars stops at a checkpoint near the Congo border, but they are suddenly attacked by armed men. A shootout happens, and almost all the Interpol agents are killed. Only Lynn survives and escapes with Keith. Next, we see a man named Travis Conrad, a former contract assassin, fishing with his father-in-law, Frank. They are at the beach to scatter the ashes of Travis' wife and son, who died a year ago. After taking Frank home, Travis goes to a bar to buy cocaine. At the bar, he notices 2 men following him. He provokes them by going to the toilet and then attacks them, forcing them to explain why they are following him. They tell him they are from Red Mountain, an agency he used to work for as a hitman. They say a man named Jim wants to meet him. Travis knows Jim and says he is retired and doesn't want to kill anymore. When he returns to the bar, he meets Jim, who offers him a job to kill someone. At first, Travis refuses, but when Jim offers him $1 million a day, he agrees. That night, Travis prepares for the job by looking at photos of his target, Keith Zera, a prisoner and important witness protected by Interpol. Keith is a former soldier and hitman for Red Mountain. He knows a dark secret that could harm the agency, so they want him dead. Jim also asks Travis to kill the Interpol agent protecting Keith, Lynn, who turns out to be a mother with 1 child. Travis hesitates when he learns his target is a mother, but he decides to do the job professionally. The scene then switches to Hong Kong, where Lynn is talking to her son on a video call. Travis, who is already in Hong Kong, goes to her house, pretending to be a friend from college. He only meets her son and her mother, who say Lynn will leave for Hong Kong tomorrow morning. Travis asks Red Mountain to arrange a flight to South Africa so he can follow Lynn there. In South Africa, Travis tracks down Lynn and finds her. He knows she is flying to Hong Kong tomorrow, so he hacks the airport's flight schedule and delays her flight. Lynn becomes interested in Travis and agrees to have dinner with him at a restaurant. After a romantic dinner and deep conversation about their lives and families, Travis and Lynn go to a hotel to hang out. While she is in the bathroom, Travis hacks her phone and prepares to kill her. However, after seeing Lynn, he changes his mind and leaves the hotel. He then tells Jim where Keith Zera is. But Lynn shows up, pointing a gun at Travis, as if she knows his real intentions. They have a shootout, and Lynn shoots Travis in the heart. As he is dying, Travis remembers his wife, son, and Jim. He wakes up having a seizure and is treated by a doctor named Ellen. After surviving the critical period, Jim visits him and tells him Red Mountain saved him with various procedures. Travis is surprised when Wetzler, the leader of Red Mountain, arrives and asks for Keith Zera's location. Travis tells them, and Wetzler orders Jim to finish the job. Jim refuses at first, but is forced to comply. Travis asks Jim to untie him, but Jim refuses and calls Dr. Ellen to speed things up. Travis wonders and finds a way to escape. When Dr. Ellen arrives to inject him, he kills the guards and forces her to explain. She says he should have died, but an illegal experiment ordered by Wetzler brought him back to life for 24 hours to reveal Keith Zera's location. Hearing this, Travis escapes with Dr. Ellen as a hostage and kills the guards. He checks the time left on his hand, seeing he has only 20 hours remaining. Travis called Frank to tell him he might not return safely. Then he left after hijacking a taxi. The scene switches to Keith Zera being interviewed by United Nations representatives under tight security. Keith revealed that while he was with Red Mountain in Congo, he found 70 dead local residents, their bodies mutilated. These bodies were from an illegal experiment by Red Mountain, and they were burned to remove evidence. Red Mountain paid Keith to keep it a secret, but guilt made him decide to reveal everything. Suddenly, a bullet came through the wall, causing chaos. Jim fired the shot and ordered his men to attack Keith's location. Keith quickly secured the camera with his confession while Lynn protected the witnesses and evidence. A gunfight broke out. Many officers were killed, and Keith was shot in the leg as Lynn tried to get him out. Just then, Travis arrived in a car, hitting Jim's men, and told Lynn and Keith to get in. Lynn didn't trust Travis at first, but she had no choice. On the way, Travis drove with a gun pointed at him. He argued with Lynn and Keith while Red Mountain's men shot at them. Travis asked what Keith had that made Red Mountain so desperate, but Lynn refused to tell him as it was classified. Another gunfight broke out, but Lynn and Travis managed to handle it. Just when they thought they had escaped, Jim shot Keith, who died from blood loss. Keith managed to save the memory card from the camera, which Lynn took to give to the United Nations. Elsewhere, Jim found a camera with Keith's confession, but the memory card was missing. He reported this to Wetzler, who threatened to kill his family if he didn't find the evidence. Jim then made a reckless decision to kidnap Lynn's son, Christopher. Meanwhile, Lynn and Travis laid Keith's body at the harbor. Lynn began to trust Travis, especially after he told her he wasn't going to live long and revealed the illegal experiments by Dr. Ellen on Red Mountain's orders. Then Lynn got a call from Jim, who said he had kidnapped her son. He threatened to kill her son if she didn't give him the memory card. Hearing that her son was in danger, Lynn felt shocked and devastated. Seeing this, Travis promised to help her save her son. That night, Travis and Lynn made a plan to rescue Christopher. On the way, Travis experienced hallucinations, seeing his son Adam, his wife Kate, and memories of past assassination missions. He not only suffered mentally, but also began to feel physically weaker as his time ran out. They stopped by his house to get weapons, supplies, and explosives for their plan. Then, he took her to meet an African man named Amelie, an old friend of Travis. Travis and Lynn told Amelie about the horrific experiments Red Mountain conducted on African victims. Amelie agreed to help them. The next day, Red Mountain troops, led by a man named Zach, arrived in Congo with Christopher and prepared for an exchange with Lynn and Travis. Meanwhile, Amelie and his men were also ready to attack. When they met, Travis offered Zach over $300,000 to release Christopher, but Zach refused. Amelie arrived and called the locals to surround Zach and his troops. Travis warned Zach to obey because he didn't want bloodshed in the residential area. However, Travis suddenly collapsed as his condition worsened. Zach tried to kill him, but Amelie quickly shot and killed Zach. A conflict between Red Mountain troops and Amelie's men broke out. Travis was still weak during the chaos. One Red Mountain member tried to escape in a car, and Lynn thought her son was in it. A local resident blew up the car, and Lynn went into shock, thinking her son had died. Travis fully recovered and fought the Red Mountain members, convincing Lynn that her son was not in the exploded car. He then chased the other car and stopped it, managing to save Christopher. Seeing Lynn and Christopher together, Travis remembered happy times with his wife and son. Travis, with only 36 minutes left to live, asked Lynn to give the evidence to the authorities while he would destroy Red Mountain by himself. He forced one of Zach's henchmen to take him to Red Mountain's headquarters. Travis remembered a year ago when Jim told him his wife and son were killed by his enemy. Both Wetzler and Jim noticed his arrival. Wetzler threatened to kill Frank if Travis continued to destroy Red Mountain and refused to give up the evidence. Travis called Frank, but there was no answer. Feeling weaker, Travis recklessly crashed his car into Red Mountain headquarters, causing part of the building to collapse. Meanwhile, Frank managed to kill the Red Mountain members who invaded his home. Travis escaped from the car, hacked the building's security system, and detonated his car, causing widespread damage. Wetzler, in a panic, ordered his men to prepare a helicopter for his escape and to kill Lynn and her son. Despite his weakened condition and a shoulder injury, Travis killed Wetzler's men one by one. As Travis was about to enter Wetzler's room, he hallucinated and saw his son. He entered the room just before the helicopter arrived. He pointed a gun at Wetzler and Jim. Wetzler revealed he had ordered Jim to kill Travis's wife and son to prevent Travis from retiring as a Red Mountain assassin. Wetzler threatened Jim's family to make him obey. With only 3 minutes to live, Travis shot Wetzler in the shoulder. Jim, ready to be killed, saw Travis collapse from weakness. Jim canceled the mission to kill Lynn and her son, allowing Lynn to hand over the evidence of Red Mountain's crimes to the authorities. Jim then tried to kill Wetzler but was shot dead by Wetzler's henchmen. Both Wetzler and Jim died, while Travis enjoyed his last moments. The scene then shows Travis on a beach, hearing the voices of his wife and son calling him. After that, he is shown waking up in a treatment room, leaving it unclear whether Travis survived or if it was a final hallucination before his death. So the moral of the story is, always read the fine print on your job contract, or you might end up dodging bullets, hacking airport systems, and saving the world with only 24 hours left to live. Also, maybe rethink any job offer that pays $1 million a day, there's definitely a catch.